that they've been able to be successful in the minutes without Steph. But Steph and Jimmy Butler are intricately connected in terms of how they've been able to buoy this Warriors squad. One plays on the perimeter, the other plays in the paint, and gets to the free throw line, and the two of them work together. So, yes, hopefully this is not a long-term thing. But I guess the thing for me, Greeny, becomes, well, who do they have to go play next? Because Jimmy Butler, we know, he did it for years in Miami, is accustomed to being the centerpiece and carrying it. Now, it's obviously been refreshing that he has not had to do that. But can he hold this team in its position as they battle this? I think they're getting ready to go on a 6-game road trip.
Yeah. They've got. Do we have the schedule here, guys, by any chance? Because we showed it earlier this morning, and we'll have it for you in a moment. I'm being told. Generally speaking, yes, they're going on the road. They're playing teams they should beat, or certainly could beat.
Correct. And I think it's important to note, as much as we were talking about this and we think of the offense, in the last 15 games,
here it is. At Atlanta, sub 500. At Miami, really struggling. The Pelicans, goes without saying. The Spurs, I know they won a game the other day. So that's 4 games right there. Boom, 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 boom. I think that they have a chance to win. Right?
I would agree with you, and Bobby probably knows this, but in their last 15 games, they have the best defensive rating in the league, and they are averaging 10 steals per game. And so they've come on both sides of the floor. So when you see some of those teams ahead of them, Bobby, you're not exactly worried.
No, that's the point. So, Bob, earlier in this program, for those of you, many people join us off the top of the hour, Bobby was talking about how he could see literally any team winding up in the conference final with OKC in the West, depending on how the brackets fall. How do you feel about the Warriors? Let's live in a world where Steph winds up being okay. Because we certainly hope that he is. If he's seriously hurt, then that changes the dynamics of literally everything. But in a world where he's back and playing, at his best when we get to the playoffs, what is the Warriors' ceiling with him and Butler?
I think they can get to a Western Conference Finals, but they got to stay out of that 4-5 range, right? If you're at 6, you have a chance. But if you move up to 4-5, it's actually like you'd rather just kind of freeze where the standings are right now. I do think they have a legitimate chance here just because how Jimmy Butler has played. He has elevated everyone else on this roster. And as Monica said, yeah, they've got a defensive identity as far as with this group. They're 7-3 in games where Curry doesn't play. So they show that they can win games when he's not on the roster, when he's not playing. But just looking at last night, Greeny, Draymond Green, if Draymond Green shoots the ball like he did last night, and he took 14 threes and he made 5, that gives him such a different dynamic as far as where their roster is. He was 1 of 11 from 3 for the previous 3 games. So is it fool's gold? I don't know, but I think that's certainly something to watch.
All right, we'll obviously keep an eye and an ear on Northern California. If we get any news whatsoever on Steph Curry, obviously we'll pass it along immediately. In the meantime, from the pro game to the college game, day 1 NCAA men's tournament. Game of the night last night, Bill Self and the 7-seed Kansas taking on the 10-seed Arkansas and John Calipari. Boogie Fland missed almost the entire year for Arkansas, and that's an unfriendly welcome back as he is taken down by A.J. Storr. Game was physical early. Let's take you to where it's decided. 5 minutes left. Kansas is up 1, and now all of a sudden they're up 3 as K.J. Adams Jr. makes the bucket. But here comes Arkansas. Here comes Boogie Fland. Errant pass, defense turns into offense. Fland goes the distance. Arkansas gets within 1. Then they take the lead on foul shots. And then John L. Davis happened. He would score 18. 3 of them right here, and Arkansas would pull away late for the win, 79-72. So a disappointing season for Kansas comes to an end. Also last night, St. John's an easy win in their opening matchup. So here we go. The 24th career head-to-head meeting between John Calipari and Rick Pitino is set for tomorrow. It is the first time actually they meet, believe it or not, since 2016. That doesn't seem right, but it is. Calipari's up 13-10 all-time, 12-6 was his record when Pitino was at Louisville. My Uncle Seth is with us here, and Seth, no one will ever be able to convince me that they did not arrange this on purpose, and God bless them for it. This is the matchup everyone wants to see. How do we set the stage for Calipari and Pitino after all these years?
It's incredible, and I'm all about the conspiracy theories, Greeny, so I'm all with it. There's conspiracies throughout the tournament. But look, here's the deal. Like, John Calipari got his first head coaching job at UMass. You know who helped him get that job? Rick Pitino. Then all of a sudden, John Calipari is playing Rick Pitino in Sweet 16s and Final Fours, and that's where kind of the competition began, because one time, Rick Pitino was a mentor. Then he became a peer. And when he became a peer, Rick Pitino had great success in Kentucky. But then he went to the pros, and he came back to Louisville. And John Calipari, he had his way with him when he was at Louisville. And you saw the numbers, 13-10. So, like, right now, these guys respect each other. They grew up together in a five-star basketball camp. Rick was the first one of us to become a head coach. But since the recency, like right now, these guys aren't having a glass of bourbon. They're not drinking an expensive bottle of wine and not going out for beers. All right, this is going to be a fiercely competitive game. Two guys that respect each other, not exactly like each other. Now, for Arkansas, what do they got to do to win? What they got to do to win, they got to take care of the ball and deal with the pressure and the relentless defense of this St. John's team. They got to rebound the basketball, and they got to keep Kadar Richmond out of the lane. If they do those three things, they have a shot. Rick Pitino's team is tough, it's physical, they extend their defense, they pressure you, but in the end, it's Calipari, it's Pitino. These two guys, if you think about it, how many guys have taken three different teams to the Final Four? Well, I can give you two, Rick Pitino and John Calipari. These two guys kind of defined the sport throughout the last 20 years, and this will be an absolute classic.
The schedule, it's tomorrow, 2:40 p.m. Eastern time on CBS is when that game will be played. Do I have Fortenbaugh on this one here? Because obviously a lot of people interested in that one from a variety of different angles, including from a gambling perspective. Arkansas and St. John's tomorrow. What are you looking at, Joe Fortenbaugh?
I want to lay the 7.5 with St. John's, but it's a bit rich for my blood. I do see opportunity going under 144.5. It's priced high because these two teams play fast in terms of possessions and getting up and down the court, but they're both lousy three-point shooting teams. They can't hit them, and they don't take a lot of them, which means this game is going to be contested in the mid-range and down low. That's fantastic because both teams defend that area well. St. John's is actually top 10. Now, the counter to that might be, well, if they're banging down low, there could be a lot of fouls and a lot of free throws. No problem. Both teams rank outside the top 100 in free throws. St. John's is actually quite lousy shooting free throws. That could be a deciding factor in this game, under 144.5.
All right, Joe, stay with me here for a moment as we continue with those. We wanted to do something different today because we had so much fun. For those of you who were not with us yesterday, you know, the Masters champion gets to choose the menu for the champion's dinner, and we looked at Scotty Scheffler's menu, and then Damian Woody gave us his menu, and it was everything you would hope it would be and more. So we wanted to do another food-based fun today, and so let's play another game of Would Greeny Eat This? We need to have another meeting on the staff. We really need to make it what other